Joined by Dr. Hamid Reza Azizi, Visiting Fellow at the German Institute for International and Security Affairs. Thanks for being with us as we watch these images that we've had from Israel, where some of the Iranian strikes do appear to have got through the Iron Dome. These are the pictures coming to us from Tel Aviv. You can see the army going in there. We've seen reports of buildings being damaged, with the fire service going in to rescue people, and the ambulance service also having to go in to rescue some of those injured. Reports of strikes right across Israel as Iran launches ballistic missiles, and the Iranians are vowing to inflict heavy blows in retaliation. Is it clear from what we've seen as yet and from what we know that the Iranians are saying as to exactly what military capability they have to strike back at Israel or any other assets in the region?
Well, this is actually the main question, the key question at the moment. And it depends a lot to what the Israeli strikes have been able to achieve in terms of neutralizing parts of Iran's offensive capabilities. What we know so far is that there was at least three waves of attacks almost simultaneously, but in the first round of Israeli attacks so far, against military commanders and nuclear scientists, so personnel. The second one was against air defenses, and the third one was against basically those missile silos and launchers, etc. So the fact that Iran is firing missiles, barrages of missiles, like it seems to be at least hundreds of them already fired. It means that the Israeli attacks have not been successful so far in neutralizing all of them. But the thing is that over the past year, as a result of the war in Gaza and its regional kind of spillover, the regional arm of Iran's military doctrine significantly weakened. We heard reports that Hezbollah is not going to involve. We saw a statement by Muqtada al-Sadr in Iraq, who is anyway not so close to Iran compared to many other leaders, but still a Shia cleric, saying that Iraq should not be a battlefield. So Iran relies solely at the moment on its missile capability to confront the Israeli strike, it seems.
And just let me bring you one line being reported by the news agencies from Israel. The Defence Minister, Israel Katz, reportedly has said that Iran has crossed red lines by launching missiles towards Israeli civilian areas, and Tehran will pay a heavy price. If Iran is actually targeting civilian areas, how significant is that in your view?
It is significant, but we should put it in the context of what has been going on already since October, the round of tit-for-tat attacks between Iran and Israel, which ended by a massive Israeli strike against Iranian military installations. And since then, there have been growing voices in Tehran among the hardliners saying that the lack of response by Iran and the lack of a decisive response could invite further and even more expansive Israeli attacks. And now those same voices are saying, look, these things that we are seeing right now is exactly in line with what we warned about. So now it's the time for the decisive response. And it comes, in the Iranian calculation, as far as I could follow, the aim is to establish a kind of equilibrium or a balance of terror, if you will, in the sense that Israel has targeted civilian areas in Tehran. We already have confirmed cases of dozens of civilians being killed. So what Iran seems to be trying to do at the moment is to establish that equilibrium. Whether it is successful or not, I'm not sure, because I'm afraid we are just in the beginning phase of a prolonged campaign of strikes between the two sides, and it can go to whatever direction. But this is the calculation on the side of the Islamic Republic, as far as I can tell.
And from any reporting that you've seen from within Iran, how worried are people about the fact that nuclear facilities are being targeted? Rafael Grossi there talking about 3 facilities, saying at the moment the Natanz facility that there is damage to the above ground part of that, but not the below ground part of it. And there will be radiation within, but at the moment the report's not showing any further radioactivity in the environment. But 2 other facilities, Fordow and Isfahan, have also been attacked, according to the Iranians. I mean, are those in populated areas, do you know?
The panic is increasing, as far as I can tell. Talking to people in Iran and also following social media closely. So those facilities are close to population areas, indeed, in the sense that any kind of significant radiation could easily spread to civilian areas and cause a catastrophe. So this is a huge concern. And the challenge, the problem, is that even if that doesn't happen, the weakness of the Islamic Republic, I mean, it's a kind of old issue that they have had in controlling the narrative, and the public distrust of whatever comes from the government has caused some people, I can already see, expressing doubt about whether this has already happened or not, whether they are hearing the truth. So this has already led to some, as I said, a significant panic among the public. And this can increase, of course, if we see, as we expect, further attacks by Israel targeting those areas more strongly, or even we may see U.S. involvement one way or another. So the concern is quite high, I can say.
And again, I know it's difficult to give a sort of wider view, given where we all are with this, but is it possible to tell what the Iranian public opinion is? Because the Israeli leader clearly trying to say that he is with the Iranian people. There's been a lot of speculation that Israel is basically trying to effect regime change. And, is the Iranian population likely to support that?
I do believe that the objectives of Israel at this stage goes beyond nuclear file and a nuclear program of Iran, because you mentioned, for example, Netanyahu's recent statement. We've heard similar statements, strong statements by Israeli officials over the course of the war in Gaza and beyond, after what happened to Hezbollah, after what happened in Syria, them talking about basically changing the face of the Middle East. And this change of the face of the Middle East couldn't be achieved without, kind of overthrowing the regime in Iran. So there's a significant and a strong kind of public opinion manipulation ongoing by the Israeli side, I can tell. And the Iranian public opinion is, of course, quite divided, because, as I said, there's a deep distrust toward the government. And we've seen waves of public protests over the past years. Those people who were targeted, some of them were involved in suppression of the people, killing of the people. So on that, you can see on social media, for example, people expressing satisfaction over the killing of those individuals. But at the same time, we shouldn't underestimate the sense of national pride and how emotional the Iranian nation is. I could see, for example, the picture of a 24-year-old lady being killed in Israeli strikes, and how it has already impacted the kind of emotions of people. So if that repeats, then the whole Israeli public opinion, campaign could backfire and result in some sort of a rally around the flag, albeit a fragile one somehow. But that can backfire quite soon, depending on the course of the escalation, I would say.
We're hearing reports from a White House official that Donald Trump has spoken to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We don't know how much the US is now going to support and potentially help Israel defend itself from any Iranian strikes. But if we look at it from the Iranian viewpoint, are there any countries that could be a sort of moderating force on what Iran chooses to do in terms of retaliation?
As we can see, Iran has already conducted its retaliation. And back to what I said, the strategic narrative and strategic thinking within the Islamic Republic, and this is a topic I've been working on for quite a long time, The irony actually of the situation, let me put it like that. The irony of the situation is that for quite some time, since Khamenei decided to engage in negotiations with the United States, we could see a deliberate campaign and kind of publicly visible campaign by Khamenei himself and by the hardcore of the system to, I would say, suppress the hardline voices who were opposing engagement because, at the end of the day, Iran knew its weaknesses. Iran knew that it is not in a position to engage in a massive escalation with Israel. But here we are. And now I would say those moderate voices are quite, pushed toward the margins. And what we are seeing, what we are going to see from now on is those hardliners and ultra hardliners are getting the upper hand. So in these circumstances, it is really difficult to see any force coming in and making a kind of reconciliation. Russia has proposed some things. China may get involved, but this can result in the best case scenario in the end of tit for tat attacks for some time, or halt of those attacks, I would say. But end of the kind of confrontation that has already started, it's very difficult for me to see in the short term.
Dr. Hamid-Reza Azizi, Fellow at the German Institute for International and Security Affairs, thank you very much for your time.